and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin with developing diplomacy between Washington and Tehran. U.S. President Donald Trump has confirmed that talks with Iran are currently underway, following statements from Tehran that it is ready to prepare for negotiations, provided they are free of threats and unreasonable demands. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian says the foreign minister has been directed to lay the groundwork for fair and equitable discussions. Speaking from the White House, President Trump acknowledged the dialogue, stressing that the U.S. approach combines diplomatic engagement with military preparedness. Iranian officials, meanwhile, are emphasizing the need for a serious and transparent process, rejecting ultimatums and insisting on respect for national sovereignty. Regional countries are also said to be helping facilitate exchanges as both sides explore ways to reduce tensions. Turning now to China, where President Xi Jinping has called for what he described as an equal and orderly multipolar world. The remarks came during talks with Uruguayan President Yamandu Orsi as the two leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation and expand their global partnership. President Xi said China and Uruguay should work together to promote a more balanced and inclusive world order, as well as economic globalization that benefits all countries. President Orsi is visiting Beijing with a 150-member delegation, marking the first visit by a South American leader since the U.S. military operation in Venezuela earlier this year. The meeting highlights China's push to broaden diplomatic and economic ties amid shifting global geopolitics. In the United States, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify before a congressional investigation into the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. A spokesperson confirmed the decision on Monday after Republican lawmakers threatened to hold the couple in contempt of Congress for earlier refusals to appear under subpoena. The Clintons' deputy chief of staff says they are ready to testify and set what he called a precedent that applies to everyone. Republican House leaders have welcomed the move, though it remains unclear whether contempt proceedings will now be dropped. Bill Clinton has previously acknowledged flying on Epstein's plane for humanitarian work, while both Clintons deny any involvement in Epstein's criminal activities. From the United Kingdom, a personal story from the royal family. Prince William's so-called secret bond with his wife Kate Middleton's mother, Carol Middleton, has been revealed as a deep and long-standing relationship. According to former royal butler Grant Harold, Prince William regards Carol Middleton as a second mother and has often sought her advice and emotional support. He is said to have enjoyed spending weekends at the Middleton family home, valuing the sense of normality they provided. That close relationship was reflected in key decisions, including inviting the Middletons to King Charles's coronation, underscoring their importance in his life. Now to South Asia and a major economic development. India and the United States have reached a significant trade agreement under which New Delhi will increase purchases of U.S. petroleum, defense equipment, and aircraft, potentially totaling $500 billion over time. Announced by President Donald Trump, the deal also includes reduced U.S. tariffs on Indian goods, cut to 18% from around 50%, and India's commitment to halt Russian oil imports. India has agreed to buy a wide range of American products, including energy, telecom, pharmaceuticals, and defense supplies. The announcement boosted investor confidence, with Indian markets rising on the news, and further negotiations are expected to expand cooperation. We now turn to Pakistan's economy, where exports reached a record high in January 2026, crossing the $3 billion mark for the first time. Let's bring in our Islamabad correspondent, Sarah William, for more on this story. Sarah, what's driving this surge in exports?
Chris, officials say the January performance was driven by a sharp 35% rise in shipments compared with December, alongside a roughly 5% drop in imports. This combination helped narrow the monthly trade deficit significantly. However, looking at the broader picture, data for the first 7 months of the fiscal year show the overall trade deficit has actually widened, as cumulative exports are still lagging behind import growth. Authorities are cautiously optimistic, describing January as a positive sign of recovery, even as structural economic challenges remain. Much will now depend on whether this momentum can be sustained in the coming months.
Sarah William in Islamabad, thank you. Finally, tonight, a major development in international cricket. Pakistan's government has decided not to play its T20 World Cup match against India scheduled for February 15th. The decision has prompted the International Cricket Council to begin back-channel talks aimed at resolving the dispute and preventing major financial losses for the tournament. Sources say other cricket boards are assisting the ICC in efforts to find a compromise with the Pakistan Cricket Board, which has not provided a specific reason for the boycott. The ICC has stressed the importance of maintaining the integrity and fairness of the competition, warning that selective participation undermines the global event. Under tournament rules, if Pakistan fails to field a team, India could be awarded the points. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.